read these to you, and they're included inside of this PDF scripts workbook. This is all available to you. You've been wildly successful. I've always respected the way you've done business. Or you've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. Or you're one of the most connected people I know, and I've always admired that about you. You're the most or one of the most important people in my life, and I really respect your instincts. You've got an amazing mind for business and can see things other people don't see. I was thinking, who are the sharpest people I know, and I thought about you. You're one of the most positive and energetic people I've ever met. Some people are closed-minded when it comes to looking at opportunities, but you're open-minded, and I love that about you. I need somebody to find holes in something that I'm looking at, and absolutely nothing gets past you. You're one of the smartest people I know. I really trust your judgment. Stuff like that. Anything that you respect about them, find a way to compliment them about that thing, and they'll become more open to what it is that you're doing. So, scheduling, you're going to try and build an appointment. Now, can you build a one-on-one? You're going to either an appointment for them to watch a tool, to watch a tool, and then you're going to follow up with them, or to come onto an online event, or to have an online connection, maybe with you and your upline via Skype or via Zoom, have a little online coffee. You're just going to be inviting them. If I could get this other person together and the three of us could have a cup of coffee and explain it better than I could personally, would you be willing to jump on Skype for 15 minutes and have a coffee, right? So with this, I want to, before I talk about hot market and customer and distributor prospects, I want to give you, and I strongly encourage, and Sandy, can we put these inviting documents, are they in there already?
They're not.
All right, put those documents into this so it's just easy for them to just download it here. So you'll have all of these scripts and all these documents, but what I want you to understand is there's 3 different kinds of invitations. Invitation number 1 is a direct approach, okay? Now I want you to be thinking about people on your prospect list that you can approach directly, and I'll explain what that means in a moment. Then there's an indirect approach, which is kind of like in the side door. Front door, direct approach. Side door, you know, just like, oh, by the way. And back door, which is super indirect. So a direct approach is used for people that know you, trust you, respect you, and will listen to you. And some examples of this are, look, when you said you're sick of your job, tired of working for somebody else, were you serious? You're just kidding around? I was serious. Well, I think I got a way for you to be able to do that. If I would you, right? I think I found a way for us to be able to really boost our cash flow. I found something you really need to see. I'm launching a new business. I really want you to take a look at it. When I thought about people who could make an absolute fortune with a business I found, I thought about you. You still looking for a job or a different job? I found a way for both of us to start a great business without all the risks. Have you ever considered working from home? Now is the time to do it. All of us need to find a way to be able to work from home. We need to talk. If I told you there was a way to increase your cash flow without messing with what you're doing right now, without screwing up or jeopardizing your family, would you be willing to take a look? I found something exciting. You're one of the first people I've called. You're one of the most important people. When I thought about people who I wanted to work with, I thought about you. So, there's tons more. But that's direct. You get the feel? So you have some urgency, you got a compliment, you go direct approach, boom. And then you go into if I would you set it up. Okay? Indirect approach is for people who don't necessarily look up to you, but they're your peers. Maybe they don't, totally respect, not like, I don't believe there's higher or lower, but there might be an influence, right? If you're a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to influence, you're talking direct approach to 6s, 5s, 4s, and 3s. The 7s you can't really use if you can't talk to another 7 with a direct approach because they're like, hey, I'm successful too. Come on. Right? You don't get to talk to me like that. You got to be a little bit more respectful, a little bit more indirect. Okay? You can even talk to 7s and 8s. When you get to 9s and 10s, you got to take a different approach. Because I tried the direct approach with successful people, and they just laughed at me. Hey, I got something you need to see. They're like, kid, come on, really? So I learned, here's how I learned. When I first got started, I took my dad's address book and my mom's address book, and I was calling all their friends. And I learned that flattery has to be over the top ridiculous before anybody objects to it. I learned that if I played myself down and I played up to other people's egos, I could get them to look. So here's what I would do. I'd call like one of my dad's friends. I'd say, hey, Mr. Johnson, I'm so glad that you were able to take a minute of your time. As you know, I'm a young kid. I've gone through a bunch of different jobs. I'm trying to find my way in the world. And when I thought about the friends of my parents that were very, very successful, really smart, had so much wisdom and knowledge and experience, and could maybe help me to find my way in the world, I thought about you, because I've always respected you as a business person. And I found a business that I think is a good fit for me, but what do I know? I don't have the experience you have. If I made it easy on you, Mr. Johnson, and I brought you the information and I shared it with you, maybe 15 minutes of your time would just be worth everything to me. And you could look at this and tell me if you think I'm making the right choice, if you think the company's for real, if you think the product is solid, it would mean the world to me. I found that the Mr. Johnsons of the world would clear their schedule. They were so honored to finally be recognized by some, they wanted to be part of some kid's little story. So they would literally drive across town. Where do you want to meet, kid? All right, fine, I'll take you under my wing. I'll show you this stuff. And you know what I found out? What I was asking for is an indirect approach. Is I need your advice, your wisdom, your guidance, your experience. And it doesn't always have to be, I'm just starting. I'm looking to expand my business in this particular area. I got involved part-time and looking to really ramp it up. I need your advice, your experience, your knowledge, your expertise, your wisdom. Would you give me your input? Would you be willing to try the product to tell me if you think it's for real? And here's what I found out about people who think entrepreneurially. If you lay it out to them, say, here it is, Mr. Johnson. If you lay it out to them, and they look through it, they're not looking at you, they're looking through it. An entrepreneur can't help but connect the dots. If they watch the video, they can't help but say, this kid, maybe he found something. Kind of interesting. And then I could introduce Mr. Johnson to my dad or my upline, or tell him, oh, the big shot from the company's coming to town at our big monthly thing, and I told him about you, and he wants to meet you. Could you clear your schedule to come meet him? Because he'd really like to meet you. Well, sure. So indirect was just amazing. I ended up doing most of my recruiting indirect. Most of it. Asking for advice, support, wisdom, knowledge, experience. Worked incredibly well for me. And then there's the super indirect approach. And this is people that are so successful that they will, just their ego will not allow them to listen to you. So what you need to do with those people is remove them as prospects. So here's what I would do with the super indirect, and there's all these scripts for direct, indirect, and super indirect inside of this document that we're going to post in the thing, and you can also find inside of this Inviting Gateway Skill course that's inside of GoPro Academy. For super indirect is you need to disqualify them for the business. You call them up, you thank them for their time, you compliment them like crazy because they need it and they love it. And then you say, look, I know you're not a prospect. I wouldn't even consider you looking at this as a business. But I also know that you're very influential. I also know that you know a lot of people. And if you knew some money-motivated, ambitious people who could take advantage of the timing situation that's involved here, bring their influence to bear, and you could help connect them to this company, I can find a way to make it worth your time. I'm sure you're successful, but I'm sure you weren't able to take everybody with you on your journey to success. There's some people that you probably really believe in that just need an opportunity. If you can help connect, and again, so before they're going to do that, they're going to want to know what it is that they're connecting. And then you just introduce them to it as them as entrepreneurs. They might start sending you people, but they're going to tell you, and I've had this happen many times, before you go put any of those into that structure of yours, we need to talk again. Because they're going to want to have a spot. They're going to want to make sure that because every business person in the world, guess what they're interested in? More cash flow. More cash flow. So direct, indirect, and super indirect. Now, let's talk what to say when it comes to inviting your hot market, your 10 easiest customer prospects, and your 10 easiest distributor prospects. Then a few more things we'll wrap up, okay? All right. Hot market. Remember I told you yesterday to make a list of people who love you, support you, but are normally going to be a little bit critical of you? Hot market. I want you to think of 3 things when it comes to hot market. No pressure, practice, and support. Okay? Here's how you're going to invite these people. You're going to be inviting them to be your customer of your product or service, not a distributor. I would highly encourage you to disqualify them from the opportunity, at least in your initial approach. You're going to get great results from this, I promise. Tell them, listen, your support means the world to me. The fact that you're my brother, the fact that you support me, you've got my back, you're in my corner, means the world to me. And I've started this business, and I'm really excited about it. And don't worry, I'm not going to try to recruit you. Not going to. But it would mean the world to me if you would support my business and be a customer of my product for 1 month. Just try the product that I have and give me your feedback on it. It costs $50, $80, $150, whatever it happens to be. Would you be one of my customers for 1 month to support my business? It would mean the world to me. Virtually everyone will say yes. And what is our job? Education and understanding. What will that product experience help them become? Educated. They'll understand your product. If they like it, they'll continue. And you let them know, hey, if you like it and you want to keep using the product, I will help you continue to use the product. I'll show you how to be able to get it at the best price. And if you don't, I'm never going to bother you about it again. Just consider that the support you're giving me now is enough, and I'm really grateful. Okay? So that's one, is ask them for their support. Use this hot market approach. Ask them to be your short-term customer. If you have a service, be a customer for a month. You can cancel if you want. If you have a product, be a customer for a month. Find your highest impact product, have them be a customer, ask them for